difficult times. We're beginning to step away from that cliff, but stepping away from the cliff and solidifying our economy is still going to require a great deal of work. And one of those building blocks, as I mentioned earlier, is small business in this country, and particularly the fastest growing sector of small business in this country, and that is enterprises owned by, operated by persons of color and women in this country. It's the fastest growing sector of business development in this country, proving once again that given the opportunity, all communities are capable of and willing to participate in this economy of ours. In terms of IT, I think many of our federal agencies have to, and as groups develop, that we have to encourage, and I think that's one thing the Small Business Administration is doing now, and it is certainly what the committee in Congress is doing, is to expand the opportunity within the contracting portfolio of the United States so that we're not locked into the biggest, but we expand that opportunity and allow emerging, new, growing businesses that are women and minority owned to have a crack at that portfolio and to have a crack at those contracting opportunities. Once established, that becomes the root for the growth of that business. And in terms of information in general, I think it's essential that IT companies that are new and emerging and that are women and minority owned be given that kind of access to contracting opportunities. Because one of the things that I don't want to see as we move toward a green economy, as we move down this information highway faster and faster, that we don't have a digital divide and we don't have a green divide with regards to how we serve communities. That the access and the equity be part and parcel of our development in the future. And government, yes, can play a huge role in assuring that that equity and that access is available. So the divides narrow, if not eliminated, and by expanding opportunity. We're doing the same thing as we work with the administration and with agencies regarding the emerging green economy. That access, opportunity, and equity share be part and parcel of the planning, the awarding of opportunities through those agencies. The other issue is that I think is important, and let me briefly, as I congratulate all of you, talk about it. And it might seem like unrelated, but it is. Mm-hmm. One of the issues going on that is of complete consternation, complexity, wrought with political risk, is the issue of immigration and immigration reform in this country. And I mention that because if you look at the issue on the surface, it seems like a very simple issue. Either we do something or we continue where we're at right now, which is nowhere. But there's complexities to this issue. I would venture to say that there's in the struggle over immigration reform, in the struggle over fairness on this issue, there's some proxies out there. And one of the proxies is why we need to do this reform, do it well, do it humanely, do it in a just and practical way, is because one of the proxies is about diversity in this country. That's one of the proxy fights going on with immigration. One of the proxy fights going on with immigration is the very fundamental issue of civil rights, as you're seeing in my home state with the legislation that was passed there, and we're awaiting on Wednesday what the court will do with it. Related but unrelated, because part of the struggle has always been on the issue of diversity, it's that it's a set-aside program, and to some extent it is. But I think we've kind of reached the demographic shift in this nation, the maturity in this nation, that diversity must be part and parcel and fully integrated into the workings of our government, into the contracting of our government, because if the proxy is about diversity, not only in immigration, but how we do business as a government, then let's not look at diversity as something we have to do or something that's required in order to, or something that is set aside so that we can placate a demand. Let's philosophically change the way we look at the issue of diversity when it comes to our government. And in this specific instance, you can talk about the same when you talk about education, but when you talk about business opportunity, let's look at diversity as an integral part of rebuilding this economy of this nation. Let's look at it as an integrated whole of any economic recovery plan. Once we philosophically turn that corner where diversity is an afterthought or it is benignly looked at in a kind way but not an effective way, and we put effectiveness, integration, and part and parcel of every planning step as we go forward as federal agencies, you will begin to see more and more results, more concrete results, and above all, a greater respect for the business development that is going on in this country, primarily among minorities and women. We're going to work on that green issue that I talked about opportunity, and we're going to continue to philosophically begin to turn the head of our agencies so they see diversity as an integral part of success and not as something that is mandated that you have to do. It is something that if you do it as an integral part of success, the businesses we help and support will be more successful. The agency that is contracting and encouraging that equity share will be more successful. And on the issue of diversity, we will begin to reflect the people of this nation, which also are part and parcel of the business and the economy of this nation. We can't separate them. I think you unify them and you integrate them. So I want to, as I did, congratulate you for all the fine work and for our small part. Very gracious. You know, we helped get a room, so then you get invited to talk. I say, well, that's not a bad deal, but we were more than honored to be asked and honored to come and make a few statements to you today. Congratulate you, encourage your work, and as proprietors and advocates for women and minority-owned businesses, I encourage you as we go forward to continue to hold our collective feet to the fire, so that as we move forward, diversity and opportunity are linked together, but they're part of the whole and they're integrated into the whole. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to come and say.
Thank you, Congressman. Wise words from our fine Congressman.